Hi guys, if you're watching this, then I finally got the courage to post about my skin and how I make everybody think I don't have like acne or scarring because I'm able to cover it up. So this is educational purposes. I'm going to pretend like nobody is watching this video. If you follow me on my other channels, you know right now I'm going through the worst hormonal acne of my entire life. As you can see, there's a lot of scarring, there's a lot of texture, and I'm extremely insecure about it. So as you can see, I'm pretty pale to begin with. So everything red, any pigment just shows up 10 times more on my skin. So I have to neutralize it, and I'm gonna go in with this concealer pot. And I always start under my eyes first, right here. Because I also, as I said, everything is just like so much more intense on my skin because I'm so pale. One thing about this concealer pot that I really do like is you can dip it in once and it's so pigmented that I'm gonna be able to cover up so much. So people will say this is a little more expensive than a drugstore concealer, but I really do. I think I purchased it maybe, as someone does a lot of makeup, I purchase this like 3 times a year. This goes a long way. After I'm done with this, make sure you leave it and let it set in place. You're not going to smear it around. The best way to be the most successful when doing your makeup is cracking a bubbly. Cheers. So I feel like I'm finally starting to talk about my acne journey because I have been so frustrated lately. I feel like number one, women's health, like if you think about it overall, I just feel like sometimes we aren't advocated for. No one really has an answer, and then they're just gonna give us all bodies are different. You're just gonna have to try multiple things. I'm sorry, I can't be on a new birth control every 3 months and then be like, you're breaking out, you're crying, you're sweating, you're a roller coaster. I just can't do that. Like, I don't also want to put those extra additives in my body. I have PCOS, I have polycystic ovaries, and I've had that since I think I was a sophomore in high school. I found out. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with my foundation, and I love a full coverage foundation. It's not for everybody. I have like a medium skin tone, so if you're more dry, I wouldn't say try this one, but unless you're just like really hydrated underneath. But I like to put this one on. I'm using shade 3.5. I'll put everything in the description as well. I like to mix this one as well as with a lighter one and medium one. But I found out when I was actually in high school in dance, and I thought my appendix, I was like, it has to be my appendix. Like, this is killer pain. I go to the doctor, I had multiple ultrasounds, and then finally we found out that I had polycystic ovaries, which is genetic, and a lot of females have it. And I'm sorry, the only thing they say you can do for it is be on birth control. And that is just like so hard for me to wrap my head around, that is the only thing in this age of 2024 that is going to work for my body. And so I did it. I was on. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make any kind. Like, I have yet at the age of 24 found one that makes me feel myself. And I'm not gonna pay that price to change how I feel, how I act. So, you know, there's different things I'm trying. And luckily for me, my collection of Amazon brushes, I like to go in with one that's a little more like dense and thick and start mixing this around. I just think that there's got to be something else, and luckily for me, around this past May, I was able to get off birth control, and I, knock on wood, haven't had any like ovarian cysts that have had me in like major pain. But it can come and go. You just don't know, and that's kind of like the price you pay. Like, are you going to risk it or not? And right now I'm risking it because I don't want to be on birth control. But another reason they want to put me back on birth control is because they want to. The only thing they can offer me is spironolactone, tretinoin, and Accutane. And then they're like, we can try other birth controls. Those are the 4 options you have when you have bad skin as a female. So the first time I was offered Accutane, I was in, it was like right when I was going through puberty, and it wasn't bad. My skin was not even that bad. They showed me a video of what would happen to my baby if I, you know, got pregnant. Scarred for life. That is a Roman Empire for me, seeing what would happen if I got pregnant on Accutane. So for a second, that just makes you think, what is going in my body that my baby would have 3 eyes, 1 arm, and their head would be, I'm sorry. So I dealt with it, you know, going through hormonal changes. You know, I was lucky to grow past it, had flare-ups here and there, but nothing that crazy. Once I turned 21, my body decided to go through puberty again. 2 years ago, this upcoming February, go outside, you fry. Your lips, they peel off. Luckily, I didn't have any of the crazy like symptoms and stuff, like my cousin went on it, and she had really bad joint pain. And then I decided I wanted to go off because I wasn't someone who was like drinking while I was taking the medicine. I know a lot of people do that, but it is very harsh for your liver. And I just was like, you know what? I don't need to be doing that. Like, let's just be sober. So I was sober on the medicine from February up until April. And I was like, you know what? My skin is looking clear. Let's not finish out the full cycle. And after you're off Accutane, a lot of people don't know that you can't get lasered. Your skin is still sensitive. I think my skin is still sensitive 2 years later. Someone was like, you have the best skin. You have no acne. You have no pores. And I remember I was so flattered. And I always, like, I'm transparent with people. I'm like, I was on Accutane. Like, that's why it looks this good. And, you know I'm not the only influencer who's talked about it, but Accutane, like, sometimes doesn't work. Like, hello, we just saw what I started with. My skin, it came back. Like, did I go through all this pain and suffering? Was I sober for 3 months to have bad skin again? So my skin did not start getting this bad. This is like the worst it's ever been. Like, I've never in my life had acne on my cheeks. I have been getting acne on my cheeks, which is just, it just blows my mind. It really does. Okay, as you can see, like, I don't want to see any of my acne at all. So this is where I go in and people are like, this is too much makeup. I don't care. So I will go in with concealer like this. Love this one. This is the only liquid one that I really love that I found that actually works. I'll also put this under my eyes like this. And this is just gonna help conceal it a little more. So I started experiencing, again, bad acne. I'm gonna say November. So this past November, 2023 rolls around, and I tell my doctor, I need to do something. Like, I don't know what's up. So she's like, you know, we could try Accutane again. I'm like, the Accutane, bro. So my doctor prescribes it, and I go on it, not seeing anything crazy. I'm like, wait, is it working? Is it working? Don't really see that much of a difference. Then I have, I'm gonna say in the last 4 weeks, the worst acne of my life. Painful, inflamed, itchy. And I'm just like, I call my doctor and I'm like, this is awful. And then I start looking up side effects and impulsive, being agitated. And I was like, that's not me. That's not me. I haven't been. And I'm reading Monica the side effects, and she goes, you're kidding. And I'm like, what? And she was like, dude, I thought you were just tweaking for other reasons, but like you've low-key been tweaking. And I'm like, are you serious? So it all brings me back to my whole thing is I'm tired of them giving me medicine that just is not, it just, nothing works for me. Like, I'm not even someone who will take 2 Advil. I go and make an appointment at Kaiser. And I'm like, hey, like, my friend even noticed, like, I'm not acting myself. Like, I don't know what to do. Okay, let's take a look. See how much better that covered? It's like, you can't see the redness now. But we look like the peanut butter kid, so this is how we're gonna bring like a little more life and dimension back into the. I go into Kaiser, it's probably been almost, yeah, it's been about a month since I went to Kaiser. It's like, well, why don't we bump up your dose of spiralactone and see how that goes? And I'm like, I just told you that it's making me crazy. I'd rather not be crazy. She's like, we could try to do birth control, and I'm like, I don't want to try to do birth control. And then there's one thing that I have yet to try, but I did see a lot of people talking about on TikTok, Tretinoin. And this is a topical, and it can be very harsh at first because it's a retinol, I believe, or it's not a retinol. And pretty much it helps take away texture. Also, I felt horrible in that appointment. She like grabs her gloves and she's touching my face. She's like, ooh, yeah. She's like, you're really textured. I'm like, that makes someone feel great who already is down in the dumps. I think we just need to go back on Accutane. She's like, it's pretty bad. And I'm like, thank you. So with that, again, you have to do a pregnancy test, negative. Then you have to do a blood test a month later to make sure you're not pregnant. And then every month you have to sign your life away that you pledge. It's called I pledge. You pledge your life that you will not get pregnant. Basically, you won't do anything to have a monstrous baby. Then I was like, do you think you can prescribe me in the meantime Tretinoin just so I can try it and see? So here we are. And I read a lot of reviews on Tretinoin. Who wants to just dive right in, put it all over my face? You will peel. You will literally peel your face off. It's a lot. It's very strong. So I have only used it within a month, I think 5 times. I finally started doubling up twice a week, and even then I'm so small, like pea size for my entire face, half a pea size for my chest. Especially if you're not even dealing with acne, it helps with wrinkles, fine lines. So, I mean, it's something I definitely want to like keep exploring, but if I go on Accutane starting in a few days, I can't be on Tretinoin. So it's kind of like, I don't know where I stand. I don't know what I want to do. I love this powder. Lasts a really long time. It also really helps with like texture, I feel like. But as someone who like has had a very close friend group for years, since kindergarten, to say that I'm still insecure at times to walk out without my makeup on. You know, we've been going on trips lately and I'm like, I'm the only one who has acne. It's like, it's really hard to just like look past. It just needs to be normalized more. Because, you know, there is filters on everything. There is, you know, editing and AI. See how this all is just kind of like coming together now? The vision is coming together. Definitely from like reading comments and stuff, it's not just someone like in their 20s. It can be someone who is 13 going through puberty. It could be someone who I heard even when you're giving birth, they're like, I'm pregnant and I'm going through these hormonal changes and I have the worst acne in my life. Like, I now am making these videos to be like, it's okay to cover it up. And these are the tips how to cover it up. And if this is something that I'm going to deal with the rest of my life, I'm gonna try and perfect it. And it has taken a lot. Like, I feel like I've kind of dealt with this, not as extreme acne as I do now, but I've dealt with acne, you know, my whole life. And I love makeup. I actually went to school for makeup. Makeup is not for everyone. It's therapeutic. And I will say, this past month, I went through a little bit of like a hatred towards makeup. I'm like, I don't want to wear makeup. I don't want to get up and put makeup on. I want to have clear skin. I want to be that girl who wakes up and can just jump in the ocean. And, you know, who's to say I can't? I just personally have not found the confidence to freely just walk out there with my skin the way it is. And some people can. And kudos to you guys. There's nothing, never going to take away that from anybody. But this is just how I feel. And this is how I cope with my own insecurities, by doing makeup. So I personally really like this setting spray. I accidentally wore it for 24 hours once. So I know it works. Use this one on like a normal daily basis, but on a game day, if you know I'm gonna have a crazy night out, this is equivalent to like hairspray. You're supposed to put it like 10 feet back, spray it on. Neither of these feel like stiff or sticky, which I like. Crazy to people to believe that this can happen with all that underneath. Is there still texture? Yeah, I have acne. That's why we're here. But, you know, I could go outside right now and feel confident and have a conversation and make eye contact. And for me, that's good enough. So leave a comment if you have any questions on what I did. I will have the products that I used linked below as well. But yeah, if you're watching this, I did it. I finally posted on how I cover this up. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.